I am weak, but thou art strong. Jesus, keep me from all wrong. I'll be satisfied as long as I walk, dear Lord, close to Thee.
Dear Mr. Gilberto Gonzalez, we are authorized to inform you on our own behalf and on behalf of the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses that your implied invitation to visit any Bethel facility, regional convention, Kingdom Hall, or Assembly Hall, whether leased, licensed, owned, or operated by Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York, Inc., CCJW, or any congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses is hereby revoked. Should you choose to enter any of the aforementioned properties, we will immediately contact the police with the intent of pressing criminal trespassing charges against you. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Very truly yours, Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York, Inc. Well, you saw the letter. It's right here. And I first want to thank the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. I feel like I won an award. A lot of my good friends received the news, and I sent them a text message, and I told them how I felt blessed. You know, those of you who know me, I've been, along with many other people, thousands of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, have been part of a group. We call ourselves the Vast Apostate Army, and we've been letting other people know about our experiences and also informing current Jehovah's Witnesses and other people who have family members that are Jehovah's Witnesses, and we let them know the truths about this religious cult. And I've done a lot of things. I protested in world headquarters. I flew an airplane over their convention. I've written thousands of letters. Some of the elders are cowardly, send it back. Mailed thousands and thousands of postcards to the Australian Royal Commission to Jehovah's Witnesses' homes and places of work. You know, well, hell, I even wipe my ass with jw.org toilet paper, you know. But I've never been disfellowshipped. They've never disfellowshipped me. And when I got this letter, I felt so proud. Because like the words of Jesus comes true, you know, it's like a validation that, you know, they're going to say the meanest, most disgusting things towards you. You know, when you insult somebody, sometimes you'll say something like, oh, you're a right-wing, left conspiracy warmonger. Okay. Or another person might insult you and say, well, you're a left-wing liberal, whatever. And they'll insult you by saying things like that. But the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society and the Jehovah's Witnesses and in my family, my brothers and my sisters, my friends that I grew up with for 10, 20, 30, 40 years of my life will say that I'm demon possessed. So normally people would just insult you by calling you this or calling you that. But the Jehovah's Witnesses go even deeper and lower and say that the apostates are demon possessed. Family members will say this. And and when they do that, they condemn themselves. Because Jesus spoke about saying these things about your brother. Here you are, your brother, your sister is trying to tell you that there's pedophiles in the congregation and they're not being reported. And these are facts. They're showing you court cases where the courts and the police and the attorney generals are saying, hey, wait a minute. There's pedophiles in your congregation and in headquarters. And instead of saying, good for you for, trying to get those pedophile records out and protecting the general public as they go into the kingdom halls, the Jehovah's Witnesses will insult their own family members and say that they're demonic. And Now I am being threatened by the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. I will tell you one true thing, though, about when I got this letter. There was a little bit of fear. I saw it, and I thought, "Oh, Watchtower sending me a letter." So I had a little, like, my heart started beating a little bit. But then I started thinking, because I was talking to the mail lady, and I was going to show her, because she knows the story of what I'm doing. She sees the letters, the correspondence. Sometimes I share with her the correspondence that I get. And there was a little bit of fear, but then I thought to myself, Gilbert, there is no fear in love. Why are we flying an airplane over the San Diego Convention? Why are we protesting? Why do we crash Kingdom Halls and carts? I'll tell you why. Because we're the ones that have love for the people that are still in it. For my sister, my brother, the people that I grew up with. We do this out of love, and we have no reason to be fearful of Watchtower or its lawyers or its henchmen. If you do whatever you do, and you do it motivated out of love, there's no reason to be afraid. But yet the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, a billion-dollar corporation in New York, is afraid of a little old Mexican guy living in Phoenix. In the letter, it's really interesting. They said that they have the intention to immediately call the police if I arrive at one of their convention sites, May 19th specifically in San Diego. But why did you not immediately call the police when you found out that there was 1,800 victims and 1,006 pedophiles within your ranks? How come the government of Australia has done their investigation and has said that 1,800 victims and 1,006 pedophiles, 0 went reported to the police? You see, what is an act of love? Is an act of love to call the police on me for being at the assembly? Or would it be an act of love to be at the assembly and be courageous and let people know that pedophilia is a crime, a felony crime, and those men and women should be put in jail and there should be justice? That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Well, and we're also saying other things. But why do you not have that sense of urgency to call the police on the sexual abusers and handing over the cases to the district attorneys? Why do you not have that same urgency for that? But you have an urgency to try to find a reason to put me behind bars and not the child molesters? Listen, Watchtower, I was born into this religion. And all of my life, I wanted to make my mom and my dad happy, and my brothers and sisters. I'm a product of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit in this video. But I want to say, how is it that you are going after your own? I have not done anything immoral or anything wrong to warrant this type of behavior from you. I am your son, per se. I'm a product of you. And this is how you treat your family? Me? In this letter, you're saying that you're going to call the executive branch of government, which is the police department. In San Diego or in Phoenix or in Yuma, you're going to call the executive branch of government and say, Gilbert is a threat, and he's, and make up your lies. But yet, you're using the executive branch of government, but the courts, the judiciary branch, like this newspaper article says, you thumb your nose at the judiciary branch of government? Watchtower, you thumb your nose at the Australian Royal Commission, the government and the judiciary branch, and yet you want the executive branch of government to be at your beck and call? No. And more, as we talked, when we were at headquarters protesting, and the police were there because you sicked the police on us, and it was me, the great Apostate, and Spike R. And when we finished talking to the police and we talked to them, and then there was another one, the faithful slave, The police were looking at the videos of the faithful slave. The police, after talking to us three, agreed that the watchtower was overstepping their boundaries. And then when we helped them understand that they were being used as pawns, that they were using that branch of government to try to protect them of being exposed, but yet they were flipping off the judiciary branch that was demanding justice for the crimes that happened under their watch. Watchtower, if this is the legal advice that you're getting from the lawyers that you have, and the lawyers are telling you, write this letter to Gilbert, Watchtower, I'm going to give you a newsflash. You need a new attorney. You need a new group of attorneys. And then to finish off the letter saying, very truly yours? How dare you go and insult me and threaten me and then try to pretend it's very truly yours? Why can't you just tell me the truth how you feel at the end? Why didn't you say F you, Gilbert, Watchtower Bible and Tract? But then you try to sugarcoat it? You know, and when I said that word F you, it goes to, I said that because when you're dealing with religious organizations like you and liars, communists, thieves, scoundrels, they all use the same language. They try to be nice, they try to be polite, and they try to be really sanctimonious. But don't you remember that Jesus chose fishermen? And fishermen were sailors. And they use some very foul language. You see, I've learned now that you leave watchtowers that when you cuss and you curse, I saw a lot of articles on how people that curse tend to tell the truth. Of course, because we have nothing to hide. We're not hiding anything. As a matter of fact, we're letting people know what our life has been under the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society and how we're trying to protect other people of suffering the consequences, that result from being in this church. Namely, a destroyed family. You run the risk of having your children molested by pedophiles that are known by the elders to be in the Kingdom Hall, but their identities are not exposed. And also the needless death because of an ever-changing blood policy. I'm going back to this thing about me being born a Jehovah's Witness. I, like millions of members in the United States and millions of people throughout the world, we were born into this religion trying to make our families, our parents, our loved ones happy. But you, Watchtower, have destroyed and divided every family in your organization. There is not a family in this world, in this country, that was part of the Jehovah's Witness that was or is, doesn't have a divided or a broken family. I need to remind you of the curse that you have brought upon yourself. Because Jesus spoke about this in Matthew 12. You have sealed your fate, Watchtower.
Let's read verse 25. But Jesus knew their thoughts and said to them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house or church or congregation or kingdom hall divided against itself will not stand.
Don't you understand when he talked right there about nations and cities? Don't you understand that the greatest politicians, leaders, the greatest generals, the greatest thinking minds all over the world agree with what Jesus said? Nations, generals, cities understand that if you have a divided house, you are condemned. You are condemned to destruction. Watchtower, you cursed yourself to destruction, and it's imminent because you have destroyed every family, not just one here or one there. Every Jehovah's Witness family has a divided house. Every Jehovah's Witness family, whether they're part of your organization or former, is suffering because of the shunning policy that you have imposed. You have cursed yourself. Your house is divided. Bethelites, people who live in your compounds, have been leaking information on YouTube. That right there is evidence of a house that is divided. Your leaders that you send out to the cities, the circuit and the district overseers, they leak information and videos out to people in YouTube.
The people that you have chosen to spearhead your work are leaking information. You have condemned yourself, Watchtower, because your house is divided. And in every city, the elders of the Jehovah's Witnesses, a great number of them know that this is a cult. And they too are leaking information to the different people in YouTube, to the different apostates. Your house is divided. And every day, more and more people are leaving your organization, and former members are standing up and telling their side of the story. You know, not only are the Jehovah's Witnesses seeing, the current ones seeing, that your house is divided and that your doctrine doesn't hold water and that you're always changing the goalpost. You know, oh no, the end's going to come soon, the end's going to come soon, the end's going to come soon. And now they come to realize that you really are a doomsday cult. Well, many Jehovah's Witnesses, as you guys have seen, have stopped giving their wills, their fortunes upon death to the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. And we know that that was amazing. And it's going down. And that's why you're getting upset. You're getting angry and you're resorting to going after little old me. Instead, many Jehovah's Witnesses, instead of giving their money to the worldwide work, are now considering giving their money to the worldwide apostasy work. You know? Now, going back to this letter, I went ahead and put it on my website, jwcrisis.org. You'll see it along the picture of the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses 2018, where you'll see me there. And you can get a copy of this letter. And you say, well, what am I going to do with this letter, Gilbert? Well, in another video, I'll show you what I'm going to do with this letter. I'm going to share this letter with a lot of people. But I'm not going to talk about that now, but I'm going to do it later. But go ahead and get a copy and think and let your imagination run wild. I don't want to be like a kind of person from a far off land telling you what to do and what not to do. You have a copy of the letter if you want it, and you can do as you wish. But I encourage you to let other people know how Watchtower treats its own members that are trying to get the pedophile list over to authorities. You know, Zeb also got a letter, another Jehovah's Witness apostate down here in the Santa Monica area. He got a letter just like mine. And he mentioned in his rebuttal back to you, Watchtower, something that I have been saying over and over again in some of my older videos. He quoted basically, Mene Mene Tekel Parsim. God has numbered the days of your reign and brought it to an end. Tekel, you have been weighed in the scales and found wanting. Perez, your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. You see, Watchtower, there is nothing you can do. You have done this to yourself. You have been weighed in the balance. You have destroyed and divided your family and every family member of the Jehovah's Witness. You have divided their families. Your destruction is imminent. And there's nothing you can do to save yourself from the wrath that is due upon you. There is nothing you can do. You can write letters all you want and make threats. You may try to hurt me, put me in jail, or even do something worse. But if you do that, you will only make us stronger. And not only that, if you try anything to hurt me, another person will rise.
Hello, Jessica. I am 93 years old. I will be 94 in January, and my eyesight is going bad. I'd love to see you before I lose my eyesight. Remember, you're the granddaughter that I took care of ever since you was born. And I love you. I still love you. And I would love to see you. Would you please call me or come by to see me? I'd love to see you. But I don't know what else to do. I've called you and you hung up on me. and that wasn't very nice.
And another person will rise.
Hello, my name is Dave, and I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I haven't said that for probably 12 years now.
And another young man will rise.
You're Wayman Ivory?
Yeah, and who are you?
You're a convicted violent child rapist, and you're out here in the neighborhood?
No,
1992 or so? A 9-year-old girl?
No, you got it all wrong. You got it all wrong.
Did you get convicted? Are you on the pedophile registry list?
No, not
violent offender?
No, you got it all wrong, mister.
Do I need to call 911? Are you supposed to be around children up and down the street here?
What you need to do is go.
No, I think you need to go and...
Every day, those hurt, scorned, and burned by the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society have been recuperating over the years, and they're gaining strength and even courage. Yes, courage. The current Jehovah's Witnesses are cowards like their leaders, the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses. Cowards, as you can see in this letter. They will not make a defense for the powerless God that you see them worship. You Jehovah's Witnesses go door to door, you do your street witnessing, and you have your conventions, but none of you will make a defense for your God because you're cowards like the leaders that you have. However, the vast apostate army, the people that you have scorned, the people that you, Watchtower, have hurt, every day is growing in numbers, and that they're showing their faces. They're not afraid to hide their names, and they're telling the horror stories that were inflicted upon them. They are gaining strength, and they are gaining courage. Other people to speak out, to condemn you to the place that you rightfully deserve to go. You know, the longer I live, and I haven't lived a lot of years, but I've lived some years, the more convinced I am of what King Solomon said. There is nothing new under the sun. What's happening here with the Jehovah's Witnesses is happening everywhere. Mind control, controlling people's lives, and living the high life, right? The life of luxury and elitism off the sweat and the hurt of other people. The fruits of the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society are plain to see. Your fruit, Watchtower, condemns you. I want to thank everyone for watching this video, for sharing it, for your friendship and your kindness. You know, even those of you who dislike me, Jesus says to pray for you. I want to thank all of you who've gone to jwcrisis.org and have gotten the voting ballot and have sent it to Watchtower, along with maybe with a note as to what you think of them, and the way that they run their religion. And I want to thank all of you who've called the Awake hotline. It's not easy taking phone calls all the time. It's not easy, but every time I get these calls, and I get busy at work and other things, but I take the calls at the Awake hotline because I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the freedom that I have, and I'm also grateful for the privilege of being able to show you that I'll take the phone calls like Mike and Kim does. I'll take the emails like Neil the Great Apostate, like J.W. Struggle does, and like all of you, thousands of great apostates. We will take the phone calls. We will take the emails because Watchtower won't. We will take the phone calls because if you call the Kingdom Hall because you're hurting, because you were molested, because your family is destroyed, no elder cares. No elder gives a damn. But thanks to the thousands of people on YouTube for opening up their web pages, their emails, their phone numbers. Thank you guys. I'm not the first one to do it. There was a lot of good people before me. Good friend of ours, Rick Farron. God bless you for what you're doing. And, God bless Raymond France for being, one of the pioneers of the apostate movement. So I also want to thank those of you who have stopped donating to the worldwide work in Watchtower and are now considering donating to the worldwide apostasy work. Thank you very much. And as you can see, Saturday, God willing, if he gives us health, we'll be there, and you'll see the airplane fly, and you'll see with what a little bit of money, what we can accomplish in comparison to the billions of dollars that Watchtower leeches off its members. I want to close with and remind you, first I want to thank you and remind you of the convention this year. It has a theme, a special theme. So I'd like to close reminding you of why this year's convention theme is so important.
Through this world of toil and snares, if I falter, Lord, who cares? Who with me my burden shares? None but thee, dear Lord, none but thee.